In Pipli town of Hazaribagh district of Bihar lived Bidesiya Babu. You might want to know why he was called Bidesiya or Videshiya or Foreigner Babu. It wasn't because he had traveled to distant lands or anything like that. About 20 years ago, he had gone to visit his grandfather in village Kirimiri and stayed away for 2 whole months. But because he had gone far away in a train and come back wearing shiny new brown boots with black laces and solar topi on his head, people thought he was a very well-traveled sort of man, so they called him Bidesiya Babu. His real name was Debnath Chaudhary, but no one called him that, not even his own mother, who was nearly 100 years old. Actually, Bidesiya Babu was two people. On weekdays, he worked as a geologist in the government survey office, and on Sundays, he worked as an amateur inventor and homeopathic doctor. Once the Raja of Hadi paid him a visit to present him with a mosquito net embroidered with, can you believe it, giant Anopheles mosquitoes for curing him of jungle malaria and hiccups. And the chief engineer developed a crick in his back, which Bidesiya Babu then had to cure. When he bent to thank Bibi for filling the cold coal quarry with water and turning it into a lake, among the automatic can openers and 5-second math problem solvers that B. Babu invented was his most famous invention. This was the immediate upstart finder, a little box with big antennae that picked up nervous responses typical to troublemakers. As you may imagine, this was a terrific thing to have at a mela. It always pointed out exactly who was going to plant a cracker under the head Havaldar seat, who was planning to purloin the Payesh Handi where the principal Pujari was having 40 wings. Sometimes Bidesiya Babu was heard singing, "Myself Bidesiya Babu, I am doing crazy things. Yes ji, if problem develop, I glad to help. Happy inventoring ji." Well, what do you think happened one very quiet Sunday morning? The immediate upstart, finder antennae began woggling furiously right on top of B. Babu's inventing table. "Now what could be the matter?" said B. Babu, as he shot out of his small 2-room house into the courtyard. "Arey Mohna, Bharna, Khichdi, Motiya!" he yelled out to his neighbors. "Kya ho raha hai bhai?" And then they heard someone come crashing through the trees towards them. It was Badali, a peon in B. Babu's office. "Sahib, some people have been chopping down pilkhan and banyan trees in the forest. And Sahib, the old tiger who lived in the jungle now has fewer places to hide in and is rushing about frightening the people of Pipli." There was confusion at this news, and everyone began talking at once, and sounded like a bad orchestra playing 19 different tunes at the same time. No one wanted to face the tiger, of course. They just wanted to be far away from him. Then Khichdi came up with a mad idea. He said, "Babuji, Motiya and I will sit here at the edge of the forest and fast just like the old sadhus. The power of our fasting will frighten the tiger back into the forest." And then added cunning Khichdi, "You can give us reward, Sahib, like a week's supply of kachoris or even tickets to the movies."
Yes.
Oh, yes. Please, fast, yelled the small crowd of Pipliwalas. Bidesiya Babu said, "Okay, it sounds quite cracked, but let's try it." So Khichdi and Motiya's families brought them 2 mats and spread them out a little distance from their huts and quarters. And then they said a little prayer. "Mother Nature, good and kind, give us brains to help our minds. We want to calm down Tiger Ji. Make sure these two don't cheat us, Ji." "Don't cheat you too," said Badli, with his hands on his hips. "If we catch you eating, you've had your chips." "Arey bhai, don't talk about chips. You're making me hungry," said Khichdi, as Motiya gave him a dirty look. After a little while, everyone went off to their jobs and household chores and naps. Meanwhile, Messrs. K and M were fasting very hard. When all was silent, Motia heard a soft scuffling sound and turned around to see Khichdi trying to stand up quietly. "Where are you going, Kitch?" he asked. And Kitch said, "Oh, just to the bathroom." "Okay," said Motia and carried on fasting. But of course, we know that K wasn't going to the bathroom at all. He sprinted off silently to a part of the thicket where there was guava tree laden with fruit. Shriman Khichdi ate 3 juicy guavas, nice big ones, drank some water from a stream nearby, and came back looking very innocent. As he sat down, he burped, a little tiny burp. Motia opened one eye and said, "To the bathroom, huh?" And K said, yes, of course." Well, anyway, Motia didn't say anything because he was a peaceful fellow and thought he could chase the tiger away with his own fasting. But he certainly suspected Khichdi, because as everyone knows, no one burps when they come from the, B room. They only burp when they've eaten something. For the next 2 days, Khichdi disappeared for half an hour each afternoon. And all the while K was stuffing himself with guavas, poor Motia had been starving, with only a few sips of water to keep him going. Now friends, on the evening of the 3rd day, just as twilight was beginning to fall, there was the biggest scene in Pipli town. Because Tigerji had seen, with his keen little eyes, our friend Khichdi come to sneak guavas for 3 afternoons. And he also saw there was no one nearby when these 2 gents were fasting so fast. "This one looks plump," he thought, as he saw Khichdi on his mat. "The other's too skinny." So he crept up silently, and then just as he leapt on top of Khichdi, he stopped. Khichdi was lying there petrified, trying to scream, but no voice came out of his throat. He was so terrified. Then he too, like the Tigerji, heard it. A terrible, horrible sound, enough to make even a tiger's hair stand on end. It was a rumbling, grumbling, growling, roaring sound, as if 100 lions were approaching. Rumble! Rumble, rumbler! Tigerji knew when he was beaten. He couldn't fight 100 lions. With his eyes still shining like headlights in the twilight, he retreated slowly into the forest. Very, very annoyed. "Well, let's all run away fast, fast." You'll say, now that we've got rid of one tiger, only to get stuck with 100 lions. But there was no real need for that. The terrifying grumbling came from dear Motia Bhaiya's hungry stomach, crying out truthfully for food. In fact, that's what gave Bidesiya Babu the idea of the rumbling revolver. He had watched the whole thing from his window and was about to aim at Tigerji with a very strong water hose to chase him away. Then he realized that Motia's honest fasting had given him a wonderful idea for chasing away hungry tigers without harming them. Yes, he has made a fine, shiny revolver with a fixture inside which includes a microscopic super amplifier. The noise it makes resembles that of a huge pride of lions roaring like thunder. And Motia, who is the co-inventor, has received the wonderful reward of free kachoris for life made by B. Babu's mother. After this, our friend Khichdi had to help the people of Pipli replant sapling in the patch which the tree thieves had cleared. And with the monsoons being so good, the jungle is looking thick and green again. Tigerji has lots of places to hide in now, and the tree thieves seem to have heard that he is very angry. So they've returned. But Bidesiya Babu is busier than ever before. All the ministers in Delhi want to see the rumbling revolver and his immediate upstart finder too. As you will imagine, they need it badly because all the upstarts seem to collect in Delhi. No matter, after all the fame he will have received, Bidesiya Babu will still return to Pipli and sing, "I may rumble, but I am humble, always at your service, Ji. Myself Bidesiya Babu, I am crackpot inventoring, Ji."